Oh, hey. I'm back. Wow. So, this has been something very interesting that no doubt it will be further revealed as we go on. The stuff going on here to my beloved people, real people, has been very much of an oppositional force. So there'll no doubt be more on that, but I'm pushing through spiritual barriers. It's been very intense indeed. And there's a lot building here in the UK in particular, of real seeds of division, and I seem to have rattled the cages of some of them. So, but I wanted to come back and just do what I do and just ground in that and just be in your energies rather than this toxic type of energy that keeps trying to encroach, and you know me, keeps getting pushed out. But nevertheless, it's been work, let's say. So this is a reading for October. I've just gone from more or less week 1, more or less week 2, more or less week 3 and 4, of course. So it's just to give you guidance on the energies coming up via me, via my spirit, and any of my ancestors that want to come through, anything really. I've pulled the cards for the 4 weeks, and we'll see what resonates and see what doesn't. Leave a comment. Let me know how the energies are resonating with you. No doubt I felt you. Susie, I'm trying to email you, my sister. It's not working, but I'll get in touch with you somehow to let you know what's been happening. Let me know how it resonates in the comments, and we'll see what comes up. So for week 1 in October 2022, we are looking at the Star card. So the Star card is that card that is, you can see she's bare naked. She's pouring one jug into the water with one foot in the water or just in the water, and the other knee and foot firmly placed on the ground. She's creating a circuit board of transmutation, and there is so much depth in this card for those that have the eyes to see and ears to hear through their own journey, the transmissions coming through. And there is so much healing to be done here that is generational, ancestral, and a lot of you will be feeling drawn and called to work on healing within self in order to pass that on even throughout your ancestral line. It's very deep, it's very raw, it's very real and very true. Collectively, there is this energy that a lot of the enlightened ones are carrying, and it is a burdensome energy. And I want to remind you that if you're feeling drawn to the energies from this card, if this resonates with you, that that there is in this realm no change, no growth for the good, for the betterment, let's say, rather than the good of the collective and individually, without meeting with opposing forces. And so although there are opposing forces around you really encroaching in, this is about being more than that, above that, and actually reading the energies that are encroaching you, what needs to be stripped and healed, what needs to be released from the clasp of the consciousness of those that are opposing you, what kind of healings can be represented in that energy that they're bringing to you. Like, what are they actually crying out for? And maybe don't listen to the words so much as the energy behind them, the intent behind them. You get some people, for some of you, very much so, you'll get some people that are absolutely crying out for your help whilst being loud and bolshy and downright awful. And it's these people that a lot of you that resonate with this will see that they are actually the frightened ones. They're a fish out of water that maybe has learned a little bit too much too soon and not being taught the wisdom or had the wisdom to apply that knowledge. So it can be very annoying, to say the least. This is for you to know that you take that energy away, you take it to the river, you wash that energy, you transmute that energy within yourself. At the very least, you'll then be putting a mirror up to that energy that first brought it to you, to give it back. But this time your mirror will consist of signs and lessons of how to, and that's got more of a chance to reflect back to these energies than anything else, of how you transmuted this pain, this need, this crying out for help amongst a lot of bullshit, loud attitude, if that makes sense. Now, the second card for the first week is the Page of Pentacles. So that's earth. That's what you can feel, touch, see, build. It sort of is money now, but it's like gold. It's what could be built, what is sustainable, it's the houses, the homes. And so this is a strategic night. This is a night that doesn't go in all guns blaring. This is resonating with me. It doesn't go in all guns blaring. It plots a path that will work for the betterment of as many as possible. It will build and they will come. And so there's a building here of how you actually get to the point of being able to be naked in your raw true self and not be attacked for doing that. A lot of you are trying to find different ways of income or build on old ways of making income that you had. And again, it might feel like you've been on this planning phase for a long, long time, but this inner healing will truly reflect in your ability to be able to sit back and wait and strategize and plot your path rather than going in all guns blazing. But this Knight of Pentacles does have his baton. He does have his wand. He does have a power behind him, a quieter force, but a force nonetheless. It's that force that seeds silently used to burst through concrete, to find ways to plot paths, to come out of a tiny creek in the concrete and grow very fruitfully. This is building in the midst of opposition. So this night isn't just because there is grace and a reservedness towards this night. That does not mean this night should be underestimated, or the energies of this night implemented into your own life should be underestimated. This is a type of person that sometimes you don't quite know what they're thinking. You don't quite know everything about them. You don't quite know the full extent of a project or what they are building on. And that's because they are doing it under the ground. The clay kickers in the Battle of Somme come to mind, in that it wasn't drenched in glory. It wasn't drenched in honor. But for those people who knew those clay kickers, my ancestors would have been in charge of some of them. The loyalty and the honor that those men earned by doing the underground, dirty, looked down upon work, as they did at home, kicking the clay for the sewer pipes. And so that's the energy and force that is behind this Knight of Pentacles. For some of you, it is about being able to believe that through a lot of raw and deep and true healing, in amongst the riffraff of energies that just want to seemingly cause harm and division and drama, there are these solid energies in people that have come through for you. And that with that healing, the more you can be your most raw, authentic self, the more that you will see there is there are the people that you've attracted in that resonate with your new energies, having leveled up a lot through going through this healing. Let's see. So the next two cards are the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands. So this is really a lot of divine feminine energy being underestimated around a lot of the people. They have been forced to be around, or they have been entertaining. Some of you that this might completely resonate in full, i.e. you are two women who have plans, who have ambitions, who maybe have been on this journey together. And I'm smiling because this resonates with me greatly, on this journey together that has got a lot of wisdom behind it, in that this healing has continuously been coming forward, allowing you to reveal more and more of your raw and authentic self as you go along this journey, but also that there is this clay kicking attitude of they're building something, they're building energy towards something, with the beautiful energy of creativity with the Queen of Wands, that fire, that spark, but that hidden aspect of the Queen of Wands. All of the queens have one foot showing apart from the Queen of Wands in this deck. Her feet are completely covered, and that's because there is this hidden aspect to it that not many get to see, but this Queen of Cups is allowed to see, and that is because of the authenticity and trust and loyalty that has been built on this co-healing journey with these two people. It might be that you have two of these physical people, or you are one of these physical people. For some of you, that absolutely is it. For others of you that do not, and this energy is completely for you, this whole transmission of the energies of these cards is all for you. This would be, how do you draw in the fire of the Queen of Wands, but also the emotional intelligence of the Queen of Cups? That emotional intelligence doesn't come without being able to channel that energy. And emotions are running so raw and so triggered and explosive right now. This is a real strength, if this resonates with you, that you are drawing that divine feminine energy in, and you are not putting it on display for everybody to see, but you are able to channel the right amount and the right kind of emotions, being in charge of the emotions rather than those being in charge of you. Really learning to channel those elements. And there is a openness to this queen, where there is a little bit more of a reservedness with outsiders to the Queen of Wands. There's a more openness of this Queen of Cups, because she doesn't fear the emotions of others, particularly when she's in a card reading with the Queen, with the Star card. She is really learning to channel those emotions, to pour at a rate that is comfortable, that she knows can be absorbed and transmuted into the ground, changed and drawn up by her into her being for her use going forward. I say her, this can be towards men also, absolutely, because we're talking about divine feminine energy. We're talking about divine masculine energy in this Pentacles, and that would be the balance here, to bring in a restrained divine masculine energy into your planning, into whatever you have going on for the first week of October. The bottom of the deck, where is that deck? This one. So we've got the Eight of Swords. So it really is, coupled with that Star card, it really is about finding your way out of a mind cage. Lots of words, slander, slandering of yourself, depreciating yourself through your own words with this Eight of Swords is part of accepting the attack from the outside. And I'm not speaking without having a very recent experience, and part of this reading today is pushing through that energy to say no more. And this is where this Star card comes in, getting back to being your more authentic, raw self, while still kicking the clay and doing what needs to be done in order to have the payoff that is needed. So we have on the second week of October with a different deck. Oh, we have the 10 of Swords. Ouch. You can see in this lady or man, there is no room left in every vertebrae. There is a part of a sword touching, you know, really getting to the nerves of a person. And this is when people can be at their weakest or their most dangerous, because the 10 is an end of a cycle. And if you've thrown so much at somebody and they realize they've got no more room in their back, in their vertebrae, in their energy column to take any more of what has been thrown, at that point, you do get, for those that are strong enough to channel it, give no fuck energy of, you've thrown everything at me that you can, now you're continuing to do so. It's like backing an animal into a corner. And this is a really difficult transition to go through. To get to this 10 of Swords, it is like being killed by 1,000 blades, you know, just coming up, slashing. And I'll just take this call 1 second, because I don't know if it's a little one that needs me. How do I pause again? It's been so long. Pause. Yes, I remembered. So the 10 of Swords is about having that fuck it energy. You've given me everything you can throw at me. And it feels like on a collective scale, this is where we really are seeing the effects of what it does to the psyche, what it does to the consciousness in different ways. Some people have really chiseled into their strength and blossomed into even more strength, whereas other people we're seeing the effects on a major scale of what it does to the psyche to be drenched day in, day out with words of fear, fear with no solution, fear for no reason other than to just fear, statistics and numbers. And it is rife in the movement, absolutely rife, this fear, and this sharing of memes and echo chambers that we were talking about years ago. And so they're in this loop of the past. Now you can either choose with this energy to lie down and just continuously feel that has been thrown at you, given to you, or that you've taken on yourself consciously, and lie there and stay there and bleed out from it energetically, because it's draining. But the beauty of the 10 of Swords is that it really is an opportunity in whatever cycle you are in to say enough is enough. That is the final chapter, where I will even leave space in my aura for a penetration of a sword such as this or this. And really setting those boundaries going forward is super powerful in the second week of October. Now we've got the Knight of Swords rushing in after this 10 of Swords. This is where, for those that resonate with this part of the reading, there is that energy of charging forward with the sword, the word, the sword, bringing your snake into your words, using your energy from your pelvic floor to really and impact and energy behind your words and being conscious of them. Now, with the Knight of Swords, there is this slight chance that you go barging in too quickly, but there are messages coming through to you for those that resonate with this for the second week of October that will be very much helpful to you recharging yourself to become this fast-paced, fast-thinking, critical thinking. This is a master of words, of being able to think quickly, being able to speak quickly, being able to answer quickly. And this Knight of Swords is a real energy rushing in for those that can absorb that and channel that. For those that cannot and have chosen to stay on the ground, this could be a painful part of October, in that there are yet more truths and messages that need to be addressed in your consciousness. And this is where this isn't a good or a bad thing, because again, this might be your time to make it an end of a cycle. And it may be very deep for some of you, generational ways of being manipulated, and the consciousness of a family, of ancestors that have passed it on and passed it on and passed it on. It may be that for this time it is where you submit to some real hard messages of truth coming in that speak to you, that speak to your wounds, that give you the time and the space to submit to that without being frightened of it, to really be able to truly go back to that first week in October and draw on that star card energy in order to understand that there are times of submission, where submission is powerful if we are willing to listen and transmute what is coming through, very much so. Now, the Judgment card comes up next for this roll up for the second week in October. You can see there in the Judgment card, can you see better there? They're rising up from this tomb, absolutely naked. The resonance of the trumpet being called in the ethers from above them, the reverberation of that in the ground below them. This is where there is that time of submission has passed for some of you, maybe in the first week of October with that star card. And this is where ultimately, like the star card again, you rise again, naked and raw and ready for your new path going forward, the path that you have opened up. And those frequencies coming from that trumpet, making it that path open to you, where it is not for others. You'll see people on the other side of this river doing the same thing. And that is where a lot of us are putting on our armor, getting ready. We've been here before. We're ready to not just speak truth, but speak truth even when it is unpopular, to really fulfill our life path unapologetically, to flow with the frequency that is drawing us, that is pulling us in a direction. Now, this Nine of Swords does come up at the end of the reading here. Now, you'll see in this Nine of Swords, following the Eight of Swords on the bottom of the deck in the other reading for week 1, we'll see that this Nine of Swords is the nightmare card. A lot of you waking with nightmares, with thoughts of having messages that are very deep or very put together. You jump in through dream state, and a lot of that I feel is this subconscious coming through in order to be able to heal. But sleep pattern is a major thing that will be a strengthening thing if you can master it in the second week of October. Not allowing whatever's coming forward in these harsh, true messages, even just messages from your own spirit to you, even more so if that's the case, allowing you to submit again in your dream state, but also go in a manner that is not rushed, like this Nine of Swords. And that might feel that might be how it feels for a lot of you, that you're getting rushed in the dream state. For me, there is a lot of hearing and feeling a lot of infiltration in the dream state, frequentially using frequencies to really frequencies through movies. Be careful what you go to sleep with on. Be very cognizant of what your subconscious will be absolutely leaning into while you are asleep, while your body's asleep, because those frequencies coming through those various things, the music, you know, I think it's disturbing deliberately the sleep state, because we get more done in the sleep state than we do here. That always goes before, like spirit goes before the physical. So there's a real thing going on for me that I feel happening that is trying to disturb the peace in the dream state. So the masters out there, we need to really be very strong in that dream realm, and hold that peace, hold that space, and hold our own space in our own dream realm, being very welcoming of messages coming forward, but not being shy or afraid to kick them if they get out of hand. Now, on the bottom of the deck, we've got the Page of Cups for the second week. You can see the fish coming out of the cup there. And this is a real playful energy, playful with the emotions. For a lot of you, having messages of affection, of attraction in the second week of October, where people are really looking to connect with you. As far as that goes, have fun with it, but be really discerning. But, you know, don't write off somebody. But for some of you that resonate with this, those somebodies won't be good. They're sort of attached to others that, again, you've worked hard for, if this resonates with you in week 1 and week 2, to move away from. So yeah, be aware, be discerning. On the third week of October, we have the Five of Swords. Go figure. Conflict. This is the conflict that is really being deliberately set around the world, the Western world in particular, you know, where there are these fights that are being implanted into each sector and causing divide. And these fights are the never-ending story. They don't come to a conclusion. They stay in that 5, and it's they're arrogantly staying in that 5 state, where usually with wisdom you would revert back to a 4 to gain your foundation again, to figure out, why am I fighting again? Or you would go on to a 6 of moving away from that chaos, because you've drawn all of the order within self that you can. You've tried to implement all of the order in that chaos that you can, and it's just not paying off. It's like this perpetual schoolyard fight, bullying, conflict, and meeting those people who are trying to implement that kind of conflict for whatever reason, with the very energies that they're bringing towards you, is just going to draw you back into that stuck 5 state. And there's nothing worse for a 5 to be stuck in a state of not changing, because it's all about midpoint and change. And so it really does have a very stuck energy. And a lot of you will be getting pulled and drawn into these arguments, these conflicts. And for some of you, it's going to have to be an honest conversation of this. This is not real. This is a manufactured argument to deliberately divide this group or divide that group, or do this or do that, divide different sectors of the society. And I'm not going to get into it that way. I'm going to be a clay kicker. So the second card in the third week is the 10 of Pentacles. And this is for those, I feel, that absolutely walk away from bringing the same type of conflict to the conflict they're being opposed with, and absolutely move into that physical payoff. But also I want to say that's the positive of it. staking your claim in your physical reality, the home, the people, the car, whatever, the land, the pentacles, the money, the shares, great. If people are very active on the stock market, change is good right now. Change will give people quite a big payout in the 3rd week of October, i.e. selling some shares and whatnot, moving something out in order to gain a profit and go on to the next. I don't know where this is coming from, and I'm not a financial advisor, but I want whoever understands the markets, what I'm saying is you would take something out in order to garner the profit that it's made in that short window, put it back in, some of it, a proportion of it, and wait 2 or 3 days. And I feel whoever this resonates with, it'll pay off greatly for you to then take it back out and sort of double that money or add a big percentage to that money. Whoever understands the stock market will understand that more than I do right now, unfortunately. But it also feels like those that are drawing you into conflict on the stage, and it really is a stage. This whole movement has been a stage, with many genuine people in it, like all stages, like all you know, music halls, very genuine people in it. It doesn't mean there isn't somebody playing the music, playing the script, and there very much is in the movements around the Western world. But for me, what I'm feeling here in particular in the UK, and while they ensue these endless conflicts, concentrating on stuff that others have brought out years before, and we should be looking forward of how we move and bend going forward for the betterment of the collectives that we live around. This is where, while they can garner conflict, clickbait, things like that, they are making bank, and there is a lot to come out maybe in the 3rd week of October regarding just how many people have really been making bank on fear and conflict. And I think it'll be a real surprise to a lot of people in the 3rd week of October, which is interesting for me again, of just where that money might be going that you're donating. I'll say no more. But that's a thing that's happening in the movements in America, in Australia, not so much Australia amongst the people around the world. It's a game plan that works. But in the 3rd week of October, again, we have the Ace of Cups, not again, the Page of Cups reminded me of an ace there. The Ace of Cups. So this is your cup runneth over, dearest. This is where you've really honed into that emotional state of absolute peace and serenity within self. You can see the Trinity mark on this grail here. You're feeling the emotions, you're feeling elated, and that would make sense for those of you that have banked with the 10 of Pentacles. For those of you that have done this though on under the guise of something else, and for more nefarious reasons, using conflict and fear to do it, the Sun card comes out, and that's great for either party, because those who have been using money wisely, making some great moves, making some first time fluke but not fluke shakes, you know, financially, and it's paying off. The sun is shining on that crop, and it's going to grow even more. You'll be guided as to what else to put your crop, your hard work, your pentacles into, absolutely. But for those that have been making bank in a way of a nefarious way, either individually around individuals or on this mass stage that's been set for the last 5 years leading up to this year, is that the sun will shine. And I can't believe this card has come out. It's very interesting to me personally. And yeah, the sun will shine, and it will shine on those financial nefarious financial gains through deceit and through using fear tactics. using psychology to fool people into buying into not just a contract, but more than just a contract. There's nefarious players at hand, and that's great if it resonates for that, for me and for many of you that have been coming up against this, many of my followers, and no doubt the sun will shine. The sun will shine, and it will, for those that we have done well, we will celebrate, and we'll celebrate ourselves, and that cup will runneth over. And for those that it's not so great, for the light to be shone in the dark corners of bank accounts and GoFundMe's, the light, it won't be so comfortable, it won't be so nice. Now, on the bottom of the deck is the Tower card. Now, the Tower card is intense here because this sun is showing everything, and in comes this Tower card, which is complete collapse of something, but the Tower stays strong. And so for the collective, this would be more like the all of the elements coming in to wash and cleanse. And it might feel not so nice. It may feel intense and a bit nerve-wracking, but actually the Tower will still stand, and it will stand stronger without the ego crown on top of it. In the aftermath, truth and foundation and a strength will be built. For those that the sun is shining upon to show the more nefarious aspects of their dealings and of their parts to play, then that Tower is going to represent that is left, that is true, still standing, and that is not to be washed away in the debris, and move, bitch, get out the way kind of thing, finally. And so this will bring in real relief and change. Not so great for those that have been acting nefariously. Now, for the 4th week in October, we have the Knight of Chalices. Now, there's a lot about emotions, but emotions that are really channeled and strong and celebrated. There's, for a lot of you, this celebration that's coming through of feeling again, of feeling in a depth maybe that you've been a bit numb to for a while, or even throughout this whole life path. And there's just this real true connection from the waters within to the waters without. A lot of you gaining a lot of knowledge and wisdom and peace and serenity from the seas, from going into the sea, from using water to channel, renew and rebirth. And this is where this person is not shy to show their emotions. They've got the emotions right up above their head, showing that this person, if this is represented in a physical person for you for the 4th week of October, this person is not afraid to show how they feel. They're not embarrassed, they're not insecure, they're not afraid to show how they feel. The Knight of Cups does bring that message of love and flirtation and energy of openness. So we've got the 10 of Wands as the next card, and you can see this is pretty brutal. One person is being sacrificed here. And so this 10, another final 10 of a final journey. Now with fire, it's the passion, it's the fire within, it's the element of fire, the fire behind your words. But also fire can burn shit down. And it feels like, for some of you, these messages of love in the 4th week of October actually cause there to be quite a dramatic ending. And that might be from other parties involved, bringing this passionate fire to this ending, to this completion. Be careful delivering messages like that, because it feels like nothing can stop this knight 1 minute on this horse bringing his message of love and flirtation, and the next minute he's under a knife, you know, by an emperor of some sort. So there's that, like, this authority figure stepping in over these emotions that have been shown. It's also for me, more importantly, this 4th week of October collectively, this is also more about those genuine people that are wearing their heart on their sleeves, that are doing this, are not always they're open, they're in flow. Unfortunately, a lot of narcissists, a lot of very dark and sticky and gooey people, in particular, a lot of these people who are supposedly on the people's side, saying they're fighting one thing, actually are bringing these sort of messages of flirtation and drawing people in, procuring people in, and it's for something very else, that these people are for something very else, something very different, in that they're getting drawn in to this, excuse me, major arcana, the devil. And so this is where, be careful where you're being drawn into, and cults really exist. And for a lot of us, the cults that are around us have become even closer than they used to be during this whole COVID period and this whole movement period. They really are in plain sight, procuring your energies, your emotions, which then is holding your ego to ransom with this devil card. This devil card represents those chains that bind you, and what is seemingly alluring and trustworthy. And it's like taking sweets to a park and trying to kidnap. It's that alluring, that bringing you in under false pretenses and chaining you to this cult-like feeling where you cannot see the wood for the trees. This devil card does bring the energy also of release, and it is through divine feminine energy that release comes, that release from a cult-like group or cult-like groups. And it comes in with a message of love, but look how balanced that message is. And it's open, it's in flow. A dress is flowing, and it's coming in the opposite direction as the rest of the reading. So where the devil card would be here, it's walking away from those chains that bind you, even though they are very close to the emotions that you've been feeling. It is an illusion for you to think that they truly resonate with those emotions, more like psychopathic energy being able to emanate those emotions and those ties and those trusts, rather than really feel them. Now, on the bottom of the deck for this one, we have the 5 of Wands, 5, 5, 5. Again, 5 of Wands is it's this bickering energy, but there is a way to end this, but it's holding people to ransom, but it's in reverse. And so if you look at it in the upright there, if you look at it in the upright, you can see that they are tied with their hands behind their back. The bows taken off them, put into the ground, representing the 5. And this emperor like person, or more like comrade of an emperor, I don't know what you would call them, person is taking this register, holding them prisoner. They're about to be imprisoned. And this really speaks to me very strongly, coming through, of this feeling and knowing that I've seen building here in the UK of racial wars that are being manipulated into place, with a lot of truth in both sides, but players being put in place for different sectors to keep people separate and to maintain this image of this white supremacy over those that do not have that lighter skin. And it really is good that it is in reverse, because there are many of us out there that are ready to say, no, not this one. This is not where they will get us with civil war. This is not where they will trick us into that combative place. We are together. We really truly believe in unity. And so it's going against the grain right now, though, because there's a lot of people out there that want to have their hands tied behind their back. They want that release of knowing that this God is right behind them, even though it's that very God that is tying them up. And so I hope that helps. I hope that resonates. I can hear one of the kids talking loud outside, so I'll let you go. I want you to know that I love you all very, very much and appreciate you all very, very much. And I feel those that have been with me right by my side. And I don't need to, because you already know, I know that you feel it when I send it. I can't tell you enough I appreciate you just being you, the many of yous out there. I really do. And beloved abstract's names come popping in my head right now. So much love to you. Much love, you hate that. All love to you, brother, and so many more of you. Susie, I think it's going to be a phone thing for now. I'm trying to get the email sorted. I think I need a virus thing on here. So ironically, I love you all. I appreciate you all. Be love, one love, all love. And in that love, be strong and discerning, and don't be drawn into things that are distractionary or weakening, please. There's more to come. I promise you that, one way or the other. We just need to get past certain points. Mwah. Love you all. Wholeness. Oh, how do I do? I need to practice again.